Well, the vibe today is exquisite, so I'm going to keep the intro brief and let the conversation speak for itself. But since you might want to access today's guest online, you can contact the real estate dimension of Christen Vallecillo via email at christenmv@movetolou.com. That's CHRISTENMV@movetolou.com. And on Facebook at Move to Louisville. And you can navigate to Beatrix's Burlesque dimension on Instagram at Beatrix_B_naughty and Beatrix B Naughty on Facebook. And that's the letter B on both. You're listening to Psilocybin Says. To support it, subscribe on YouTube and podcasts. Like, favorite, and join the conversation in the comments. And stay connected on Instagram and TikTok. And now please welcome Christen Beatrix Vallecillo.
We were supposed to talk about burlesque last time.
Yeah, we covered a lot last time.
But not burlesque.
No. There's a lot there. That could be an entire episode is just talking about performing.
Yeah, I could dress up.
In burlesque. And do a little dance.
Sure.
Before and after. Open the container and close the container.
Okay.
You could take your clothes off
and
throughout.
then put them back on as the finale.
Put them back on?
Put them back on.
Does that happen in finales of burlesque?
There are reverse stripteases.
Or you start mostly naked and then you put clothes on.
I haven't seen many, but they exist.
That makes sense. It's kind of like post-sex. Like there's that, you're naked.
Streaming.
And then it's like, well, especially when you're like new in the relationship or you're dating.
Right. And everything's tucked in tight.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, well, here's the part where time to go. So still got to be sexy. Putting my clothes back on.
Don't I look amazing post-coitus?
Yeah. Try and go like this with your eyeliner real quick.
Right. Can you see me here forever?
Yeah. This is how I always am. Yeah, that'd be great. Do an episode just burlesque.
Sure.
Yeah, but I was thinking about what we might talk about today, and I was reflecting on the last year. So yeah, that was March of last year where we recorded an episode together. Yeah. You had just gotten married.
Yes.
We had just gotten back from Costa Rica like a month before that or something.
Yes.
And I don't think you decided you were wanting to have a baby at that point.
Not actively yet.
Okay.
It didn't start until we did the retreat. What was that, September or August?
Yeah, I think that was August. Okay.
That was my first clerical experience.
Yes.
I did not take part in the sacrament physically ingesting, but I had an experience. That didn't come until the very last circle where everyone was kind of closing out their overall consensus at that point.
Yeah.
And then
like the integration circle.
Yeah. And then shit was starting to shift. It was very weird. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I'm supposed to have a baby.
Wow. I didn't know that. I don't feel like I knew that.
That was
happened.
my outcome from that. That was my integration. That was so weird.
Yeah.
So unrelated, but it was like it washed over me very soon after.
Yeah.
Like, baby.
That's something that when people talk about training and learning how to be a psychedelic facilitator or whatever the term is, depending on where you're at, like psychedelic therapist or whatever, somebody who's holding space for someone eating mushrooms, say, that's not something that we think about a whole lot, I don't feel like, is the personal experience that's brought on by someone else.
Yeah.
Going, like, consuming, communing with the mushroom and going to that spiritual realm. It's like, even when we don't ingest the mushroom, it's like they pull us.
Yes, you will
with
have
them.
an experience of your own. And it's so funny because a lot of it was not communicated during the actual day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt uninformed about how things had gone. And so I guess it took the integration where people were like, this is what I experienced, and this person I looked at, and then this happened. And it was like, oh my God, it like awoken something in me. And I love being a cleric.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Well, and then so you got pregnant and then we didn't have a retreat.
About caregiving.
Yeah. Our next retreat, you were, kind of too pregnant to to hold space for people camping.
This vision of a big old pregnant belly and just like leaning down, caring for someone.
Right. You're like, can I be a cleric? And I'm like, ooh, that's intense. That's a lot of caregiving right there.
In theory, it's a great idea.
But like knowing now that you had that experience with that retreat in the integration circle, having that like vision or feeling of wanting to bring a child in, and then the next retreat where people are eating mushrooms, you're like about to bring a child in.
Right.
It's pretty cool to think about.
Wow. It's like my gestation period.
Yeah. Which also ties into, so on our mama chat through Marco Polo, which I want to talk about. One of our friends, shout out Jordan. She was like, or was it Jordan or was it Amy that said, I want to hear you talk about manifestation. It was Jordan. She said that. Yeah. She's like, Christen,
shy girl vibes.
Can you talk about your manifestation process? Because you have this ability to like speak things into existence. How you do that?
I don't know.
Walk us through how you're so good at that. Yeah.
It's so intuitive. I don't really feel like it's me deciding anything necessarily.
Yeah.
It's like the thought I don't know. I guess I haven't figured out where the thought comes from. I don't really worry about where the thought comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's energy there, then I'm going to focus on it. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of my life, I try to have autonomy in my own personal decision making, but I feel very much that the universe happens through me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So like, I know what car I want to buy, but I don't necessarily know what my next like career project is going to be. I just know that it's going to be tight.
Yeah. Letting go, it sounds like.
Yes.
Of how things happen.
Yeah.
Just like honing in on the feeling of it happening.
Yeah. I feel like my 20s was like a really transformative period of me shedding the non-letting go. The holding on. I really, and as I'm thinking about it now, I'm imagining like it bursting off in like big explosive chunks of crunchy yesteryear bullshit. And I mean, like I met you around that time. I was starting to work at Rainbow Blossom, and that's really when I got in tuned, so to speak, with this whole holistic, natural.
You got initiated.
Rainbow Blossom and organic cigarettes.
Oh, wow. American Spirit
American
time.
Spirits.
Yeah.
We're organic hippies, okay?
That's right. Yeah. We talked about that we talked about that on the last podcast. We talked about your ayahuasca
Yeah.
adventure. We talked about your travels through the Osho commune.
Yeah. I learned a lot about celebration in that, and like female celebration. I always associated strength with shutting off emotion and shutting off maybe that soft femininity, because my dad is military and we grew up in like strict, harsh, you muscle through things.
Yep.
You get through them.
Toughen up.
You don't say no or I can't. You just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And so being in Costa Rica, being in that commune where the men are celebrating the women and holding space for women, and the women are just like free and their hair's long and it's flowing. They have cool clothes and their kids are running around and they're just like
suckling milk from
singing, dancing,
their free breasts,
being fucked up on ayahuasca. And like it transformed like the way that I connected to my femininity, and it like turned a light on. And in our integration circle the next night, I even said that. I was just like, it was such an eye opener to see all these women just free and beautiful, and the men just holding space for them. Like I've never been shown this before. And they danced. The way they danced was a big thing for me because I dance, and I've always seen myself as like a really stiff performer in my earlier dance years. But that really loosened me up.
Yeah. So like, okay, walk us through this a little bit. So the Osho commune where you saw the men holding space for women, was this like a formal type of process, like a meditation specific type of thing? Like, here's what we're going to do now as the women are going to do a thing, or just in general?
I think that everybody kind of has their roles. Like the people who are good at singing will be a part of this. A lot of it is unspoken, but it's very strongly present. Like you can't, I mean, I guess you could miss it if you weren't focused on it, but like it caught me how supportive but not intrusive the masculine energy was. Like I felt safe. And it helped me like open wide open, like burst open, because I think I have a hard time feeling safe around men a lot of the time. And to be in a place where women were so safe that they were just completely free, and I could experience that too. So
that's a beautiful thing.
It was wild. It was crazy, and it changed my whole life.
Wow. I wonder if we can get there with Sanctuary.
Oh, for sure. I think that we just have to be about it.
Yeah. We have to be the free.
Yeah. That was something that was talked a lot about in like group circles with Tiohar, who was, oh God, I'm going to botch it. He's not like the master or something. He's just like the head.
The Bhagavan or the...
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know.
He studied under Osho, and Osho was like, you can go and start an Osho commune in Costa Rica.
Okay.
So he went and did that, and he intuits Osho's teachings.
Okay. Cool.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people, their concern is like, I'm going to go home. I've had this insane experience here. My life has been changed. I've had like, how do I go home from this and like go back to fucking work and Walmart and, you know, the gas station and see my crazy family, you know, like how do I go home from this?
Yeah.
And he's like, you just have to fucking be about it. You can't explain it. No one will believe you, or you won't be able to explain it.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
It's unexplainable. It's experience. So just like be that. Just be it.
Yep.
And so I try to do that a lot. I try to just be it. People usually appreciate that, even if it is not perfect.
Well, and especially when it's not perfect.
Especially when it's not perfect.
Yeah, get out of here if you're trying to act perfect all the time. You don't need to be doing that. We're all like...
A lot of people are still trying to act perfect out here.
I know. Yeah.
And that's okay.
It is their process.
It's their process. It's fine. But I see you. See what you're doing.
Yeah. That's when we just...
we shake our titties in their face.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. These titties aren't perfect. It's okay.
It's actually my secret. It's to hypnotize people. I use it for hypnosis.
Wow. Yeah, I'm trying not to. So that
eyes up here, Courtney.
Stay on track. Focus.
I should have worn a paper bag.
Yeah, everybody watching on YouTube, you know what I mean. They're like,
they're always out.
So, like, how has that experience informed your burlesque career?
Oh my gosh,
you've been in burlesque
so much better.
So you've been performing. You've been a burlesque performer for how long now?
Since 20, almost 21. Like 13 or 14 years. I'm 34 now, so I guess 14.
Okay. So how did that start? Like, do you remember when you first like accepted that?
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. A lot of people say in burlesque that burlesque found me. I didn't find burlesque, and that was definitely me. I was just going about my life. And then this lady that I had just met in my newfound spiritual circle, and she was starting a burlesque troupe and asked me to be in it. And my friend was doing it. So I was like, yeah, whatever she's doing, I'll come too.
Yeah. That's so interesting you said that someone in your newfound spiritual circle invited you, because I don't think that's something. So Eric and I recorded a podcast this morning, and the topic of sex and spirituality came up. And it's like, that's not something most people put in the same box, I think. Like now, like I forget that like 15 years ago, if someone would have said to me like sex is spiritual, a spiritual practice, I would have been like, what? How? Like now, I get it. But like burlesque, if someone in your spiritual circle was practicing burlesque, then like maybe burlesque is spiritual. So anyway, continue on. Had to get that out before I forgot.
I am so here for that. I feel that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to move around a lot.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm a mover. I'm a
mover and a shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A jostler.
Jostler.
Where was I?
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. You were talking about being invited. So you were like accepted it.
Yes. And then I just kind of stumbled my way through the first handful of years. I'm not a trained dancer. I'm not very flexible. I'm not your quintessential dancing performer. But I feel like I have a really good stage presence, a natural stage presence. And I don't know. So part of me improving and going to Pachamama, having that experience, was that I learned how to dance again. And not like I'm trying to fit into a burlesque box. I'm trying to fit into what people in the group are doing, what they're creating. I was really able to like rip out the last page of the notebook and like start on a fresh sheet and just start like dancing.
Yeah.
So my dancing is very like fluid and flowy and not traditional at all. Or I don't even know what a category of it would be.
Yeah. I would think that's what you would want burlesque to be. Non-traditional dance flow. I'm sure there's a traditional.
But it is aesthetically pleasing when a ballet dancer turns burlesque and they have that beautiful toe point and they can throw in little ballet moves.
That's style.
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks nice. I appreciate that. You can tell if somebody is a trained dancer.
Yeah.
Or if they are flexible.
Yes.
You can tell.
Yeah.
And you can tell when they aren't.
That's right.
So all bodies are welcome.
Yeah. So, like, what was it like being on stage for the first time performing?
Oh my God, I couldn't tell you. But I guess I liked it.
Yeah. You wanted more.
I was ready for more. Yeah. There's something very ego stroking.
Did you question the, like, how do I say it? Like did you wonder what people were going to think of you?
No, never.
Really?
Mm-mm.
So, like, your parents
No.
didn't care? Or just didn't
I
think
didn't
about
care
it?
about them knowing, I guess. They came to every show.
Wow.
Yeah, they were hella supportive. And I was doing some, I don't know if other people would do that in front of their parents.
I have a hard time personally. My parents are extremely supportive, and I'm sure they would come if I invited them.
Absolutely. But they might not. Like, your dad might have to be at the bar getting a drink during.
Totally.
You know,
I would hope. I would request that. Just get a side,
if
side
you could,
view.
Like, go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Just, when you hear my name.
Yeah.
called.
Be in the building, but don't watch.
Don't watch.
When it's my turn.
Just buy a ticket.
Yeah. Just.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Super supportive. Yeah. I don't know. I am of the personality of shocking people. Like, that gets me having a lady boner.
Yeah.
Is the shockery.
Well, that's why you and Eric get along so well, I guess. That's his MO as well. Nice. So, all right. So, didn't really question if people were what people were gonna think. You just went for it.
No, because I thought I was cool. I was like, oh my God, people are gonna think I'm cool.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
People are gonna see all these sexy photos on Facebook and like people from high school. They're so lame.
Yeah, they're gonna be like,
like, wow, Kristen's cool. We didn't think she was cool back then, but now she's cool.
Look at her taking her clothes off and dancing,
being a little whore. Yeah.
Wow.
We judge her. I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that time, 13 plus years that you've been doing that, you've gone through all kinds of like a career journey.
Yeah.
And then you became a mom.
And I did it again.
And then you did it again. How is that experience of burlesque? Like, how has that evolved over that time for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's definitely changed my approach to performing. When I became a real estate agent, there was a lot of pondering how I was going to be Beatrix and also be Christen, the responsible, intelligent real estate agent. Not that I can't be both, and not that a burlesque person means not those things.
Yeah.
But I guess my conditioning, I was stuck in that association. And like, Mostly feeling like I didn't want people to think that the sexy part was like expected or free, or like if you want me for real estate, that's business.
Right. Don't be expecting.
If you want titties, you gotta pay a ticket, come to the show. You can have both.
Yeah. But not at the same time.
Not at the same time.
Same day and hour. I'm not going to be.
Unless you're my husband.
Yeah. He gets all the worlds of you.
I don't
Get
know
it, Emilio.
that he knew what he was signing up for on that front, but that's okay. We all
Check
get
out
there.
our podcast episode with Christen and Emilio.
Yeah.
Which we did in May of last year.
Oh my gosh, that was a fun one.
That was Emilio on a podcast is great.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so that was something I needed to work through, was getting through, am I going to separate these worlds? Am I going to push them together? Am I going to use one to help the other?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it tightened up my performing ship. Like, there's a professionalism that, well, okay, so I just don't care as much about the quantity of performing that I'm doing, where in the earlier years it was like, perform every show, perform every number of every show, like do it as much as possible, and basing my worth on, did I get picked for this show? Did I get picked for this festival? Am I cast in as many numbers as other people are in a show? And now I don't, like, now I tell them what I want to do and how much I want to do. And most of the time it's fine.
Yeah. So you've like stepped into your value.
Yes.
As a performer.
Yes. I'm not in that hustle like I was before. And it feels really good.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because you were performing a lot. I mean, a couple years ago, you were doing.
Yeah, producing and performing and hosting and just trying to be everywhere all at once. Then I had some kids.
Not anymore.
Then I had some kids. And now it's like, no. I'm not going to this beat down bar in 2 towns over for $20 in tips.
Yeah.
And, a $50 cover.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm glad.
Not that I didn't have a blast. Time and place. I'm over that bridge.
Yeah. So you feel like your real estate career has helped you with that?
A little bit, yes. But mostly having the kids slowed that down a lot. And I think being recognized in my community by my peers has also like calmed my tits, so to speak.
Yeah.
Especially when I took time off to have babies. Feeling that support while I was gone and then feeling the welcome back afterwards was really affirming. And it was safe for me to come back and not be in that rat race. Like I can still, because that's my thing about having a family, because I didn't think I was going to do that. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to go into this, I still need to maintain whoever the fuck is in here. She still needs to go on trips. She needs to have fun with her man. She needs to be a little bit autonomous sometimes. And I hold on very tightly to that. Yeah. So performing, I don't necessarily know. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be what I'm supposed to continue to do because that's what's in front of me and that's what I'm choosing. but it's definitely right now about keeping a little piece of my soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's been really helpful for me to have you as a friend who's reminding me, like, make sure that like sanctuary isn't like your whole entire everything.
Right.
Like, remember who you are. Like,
Yeah.
There's many parts to you. It's not just this one thing, this one mission and project. That's been really helpful for me to hear at times. So thank you for being that. It's really the being that, more than the telling me that,
right?
Like, the example and seeing you,
make it fucking work.
Yeah. So you mentioned community, like having peer support, and that's helped you. Could you talk more about that?
Sure.
Like, what is that?
Well, mostly, so I'm in the Vava Vixens burlesque troupe here in Louisville, Kentucky. And that is a group that does about 3 shows a year. Way different than a regular, typical burlesque show. It's like a cross between a variety show. I don't know. And there's burlesque in there. There's burlesque, aerials, acting, singing. It's not just like stripping.
It is nothing like when I first saw a Vava show, which was, I don't know, 8+ years ago. I don't know when it was, but it is nothing like I thought it would be. I thought it'd be like going to a strip club. Right. Honestly, that's what I thought. But it's not at all. It's so fun. Like it's entertainment. It's so entertaining. It's so much less about the tits and the ass than it is about the women and men and non-binary folk as well performing and like just being their authentic selves, having fun, letting go on stage. It is so empowering. Every time I go to a Vava show, I'm like, I go home and I'm like, yeah, I just want to be like, do my weird, freaky thing.
I
so cool.
Love weirdness.
Yes.
So that was the troupe I started with way back when. I'm aging myself, but I'm one of the last, not the last, there's I think 2, I don't know, one of the last original vixens.
Okay.
From the start. So that is something, especially not having a dance background or being super flexible. I have years on me.
At the ripe old age of 34. When do burlesque dancers age out typically? Is that like, is there a
Never.
thing? Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I've seen 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds, some of the legends who performed who were like started or didn't necessarily start, but they were like the revolution back in the day. Some of them that are still around are celebrated and still perform.
Wow. That's cool.
70s, maybe 80s. Yeah. Burlesque never dies.
You're never too old to take your clothes off.
You're never.
And enjoy it.
Exactly.
In front of people.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah.
So they were... they did a lot of surprises for me on stage when I got married. And then I performed while I was pregnant with my second baby during one of the shows. And they were just like everyone's just really great. Everyone's just really nice and great. And they tell you they miss you and they love you. And it's just a community unlike any other.
I can see that. I mean, being friends with you for all these years since whenever that was that we met, 2010 or something. No, 2011. I don't know. It's been 12, 13 years, about that time that you started. Shortly after that, seeing your friends from the Vava Vixen community and just like how tight the circle of people that perform is really cool to see. And it makes sense because when you're getting that vulnerable because y'all practice the Vava when there's a show coming up.
We like practice every Sunday.
Yeah. So every single week, like church, you're coming together.
Yes.
Burlesque church.
To shake our jelly.
Yeah. And be free. Like the authenticity that's required for that type of experience overall seems like.
It's a lot of laughing too, because that's like the great barrier breaker is laughing about shit.
Yeah.
So it feels like, I don't know, like what I would think maybe like high school cheerleading practice would be like, where you just like get together with your girlfriends and you talk about who wore what to school, and it's just like kind of hanging out, but you're like also dancing.
You're also
it's like really fun.
Shaking your ass.
You get to wear cute outfits.
Yeah.
And feel really good and have people fawn over you, and who wouldn't love that?
Well, and in the Vava Vixens, there's a lot of like gender fluidity and like switching roles, switching gender roles and playing with that, and like there's a freedom in expressing like sexual orientation and
we're very queer group of folk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's like a handful of like actually straight people, but I'm not putting anyone in a box. What is straight anymore?
I don't personally know.
I mean, am I straight if I masturbate to gay porn? Like lesbian porn? I don't know. So I don't like to say
it's on
like
you,
straight, bi, gay. We're queer.
We are queer. Yeah. That was at the first LGBTQ plus circle that we had in person the other night. That was a topic of like, well, here I am, like, cause we went around like, you know, our names and like how do we identify, like what's our pronouns, and then like what's like our sexual orientation. And it's a tough one. It's like, well, like I'm kind of bi,
genitals
but I'm also it's like quickly just like dive into like, well, I like these genitals and these genitals, but not always, and not like just on anybody.
Not every time.
Yeah. Only
for the first couple of years.
And then,
right. It's so fluid. Like, how can you say what anyone is at any given time?
Yeah. It's funny to try and put it in a box.
We're the non-box box. How about that?
Yeah. The non-box box. So you mentioned growing up and this like masculine like expression of strength and like kind of, you know, learning that from your dad and being military. And so like with burlesque, like how is that, I don't know, like how has that shaped your experience of strength and like femininity versus masculinity? Like
a lot. I very much enjoy being physically strong. That to me is a sign of strength overall, is a physical strength. And it's interesting that I got paired up with a military dad and a Capricorn mom. Because I'm so emotional.
Military dad, Capricorn mom.
Emotional.
What's your dad's sign?
He's an Aquarius.
Okay.
Not emotional at all.
Yeah.
So
And you're a Scorpio.
And I'm only emotion at all the times. Yes. So it was a lot of like performative being tough and thinking that that was how I was going to survive in the world as a female, and getting into burlesque, having these experiences around other women, opening up the flower of my femininity, so to speak. It was so powerful because I actually really love being a woman. Like, I love being girly. I love being feminine. I love my curves. I love my vagina. I love everything that makes me a woman. I love to be sexual and flirty and to entice people.
I love a good seduction.
I love a good seduction, even if it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or if it's completely made up in my mind and the other person is like totally ambivalent.
Yeah.
But that's fun for me.
Yeah.
But I really love being a woman and expressing, like, the more womanly I am, the more free I am about my femininity and whatever that comes out as, like, the stronger I am. Hands down.
That's so big. Like, just with the women's like empowerment movement and a variety of feminist movements over the last not even 100 years. I mean, about 100 years. I mean, women only have been voting for about 100 years now. And all of the different facets of stepping into our power as women. And like, initially that's starting out as like, we're going to wear pants, damn it.
Right.
You know, and
I can have men jobs.
Yeah, we have that right. Shut up. We're gonna like, you know, this is our world, you know, and that whole, it's so cool to me, the dance of stepping into power and all the different forms that takes.
Yes.
And where we've been at, like in our generation, kind of like, okay, our mothers had to be really freaking tough to make it in the workforce if they did work, or like this weird in between place of like going from homemaker, like choosing that path of, do I take care of the family? Do I take care of the family and have a job, put on the man pants and try and make it in the corporate world? And like, so us coming out of that and stepping into this new phase of women empowerment, which, yeah, it looks like all different kinds of things, but like, I totally relate to that feeling of like, even me growing up as an ice skater, that was extremely masculine. Even wearing a dress, it was very like, like hit the moves, get the points, you know, and a lot of control, you know, and
mental toughness.
And stepping into this like new part of my life with the help of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like, and I want to talk about that a little bit too, but like just, like stepping into what I got, what I feel good in this body.
Yeah, I get so tripped up with like body neutrality, and I guess because I don't necessarily have the experience of hating any part of my body. So I really try to understand, because I want to appeal to all kinds of people in life on a very broad stroke. But I don't know. I really support loving your body. I know some people aren't there yet. So I've been told. I don't relate to that, but I support it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, there's something so great about celebrating myself and like getting others to join in on that. I held a movement class once. It was like, I called it Manifesting Movement, actually. What a great name.
Yeah.
And it was about like you manifesting your own movement, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like. We're not trying to do any kind of different dance. We're just like moving and feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so great. I wish that I could teach that like every week to anybody who wants to be a better mover, or I don't know.
Do you want to teach a class soon?
Sure.
You want to do a class with Sanctuary?
Sure.
That sounds great.
Yeah. It's basically just teaching my style of whatever the fuck I do.
Right.
But
what we're all doing.
Really though. But it's such a celebration. Like, it's okay to like your body. Even if it's not what you thought it was supposed to be. Because like you were talking in our mom group about, fuck, what were you saying?
I'm glad it was memorable for a second. Loving our bodies.
Loving our bodies. Oh, shit. What were you talking about? Damn it.
I don't know. I wish I remembered.
It might come to me.
Yeah.
Brain fart.
Well, that's a good point to talk about. Because like when I went to a drag show at Play a month and a half ago or something like that. And the person in drag on stage was like, oh man, she had some great things to say. She was like, her closing remarks were basically like, you know, all my friends out there that I see you get a compliment and then you try and shoot it down and you're like, oh, like that's, you know, no, but then there's this, like, and she was like, stop it, accept it, take the compliment, take it, just soak it in, allow yourself to feel when someone is trying to honor how great you are. Just sit with it. You don't need to fight it. Just take it in. You can say, yes, thank you. It's true. And I'm like, like I have been teaching that to my kids. Like, thank you for bringing this lesson, not just to my kids. I've been just saying it like all the time.
Yes.
Noticing when we've been taught to, I feel like this is more of a woman thing, to get a compliment and find reasons to like
turn it away,
not receive it. And so yeah, so powerful to just.
I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
Because you were talking about going through different medical shit that was uncomfortable. And at first you were thinking, what's wrong with my body? What have I done to cause this? And then you realized that your body is in fact not wrong. It's right. And it's just giving you different messages. And that is really fucking powerful.
Yes.
What a relief.
Right?
What a fucking relief.
I know. I just got body chills just hearing you repeat that because it's so true. Thank you, somatic therapist. I wish I could remember his name. He's awesome. He's got a YouTube channel. If I find it, maybe we can link it below. Note, Connor. Link the somatic therapist channel below. Man, I'd love to have him on this podcast. But he was talking about, he's a somatic therapist, so works with people and their bodies and listening to the messages that come through, and how so many of his clients say, oh yeah, like what's wrong with me? And like, why is this happening to me? I I must be like being punished by God, or like I'm being taught this lesson now, or like this is what I get for blah blah blah, like this punishment thing when our bodies are communicating with us. And he says, oh no, you got it all wrong. Like, it's okay. Like, your body's just talking to you. It's working perfectly. There's nothing wrong with you at all. It's like everything's right with you. Your body's communicating with you, and you're actually receiving the message. That's a great thing. Just like reframing the perspective of the message.
Man, sometimes though, the message is really, wow. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And there have been times that I find myself calling out, maybe you call him God, universe, whatever, whoever receives my prayers when I send them
answers
out.
them.
Exactly. Whoever that person is. There have been times where I'm just like, hey, I can't fucking deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, literally looking up at the sky. I don't know who's there. I don't know who's listening. Somebody is.
Yeah.
Something is.
Yeah.
Hey, this is like too much. Can we fucking reel it in? And then it's like the clouds break.
Right. Well,
so
God's talking to you, and you can talk to God too. Have a conversation.
Yeah, it's just like
sometimes it's a screaming match, but
right.
Hey, that's how it happens. That's life.
I hate that we meet like this all the time. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm back and I'm pissed.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Right.
So sometimes the message, I don't know what the purpose of that message is for, but it's like when you're so far in it, you're like blinded to everything else because it's just like pain.
Yeah.
But I guess we're supposed to feel, that's a good thing. I guess I'm breaking it down now. Like, I really love that idea that our bodies are working. But like, what about people who get cancer? Their bodies are still working, getting good.
That would be that would be the idea.
Okay.
Like, because if you find yourself with cancer, then it's like, I mean, the way that I'm shifting to see things now, and not like these experiences, like the spiritual bypass would be like, well, it's fine. Like, it's just, it's all working out. Like, it's fine. Like, be happy. Like, because it's fine. Like, no, that's not what the idea is, by recognizing that, like, it's all a process. Like, sometimes it really freaking sucks. Like you're saying, it just sucks. And that's part of the relationship. Like, relationships are messy sometimes. That's how the more that, like, a lot of the time, actually. Okay. Thank you. The more that I just like get to know people and I'm like semi-present in life, like when I can be with kids and all the things, it feels like everything is a relationship. Like, like everything. Our bodies, like ourselves, and like who we truly are right here and now, and whatever we're experiencing, like thoughts and feelings. And if it's cancer or whatever disease, it's a spirit, it's an entity that we can communicate with, like everything. And it looks different depending on what language the entity speaks, because it's like we got to learn the language of the thing from the other land and realm. So it's not like easy, but we can communicate with it. It's like a message.
Cancer to change your life. I'm seeing it now. It's all coming together.
I mean, we've seen some pretty miraculous stuff from people working with people in mushrooms who have come to Jamaica and have had stage 4 cancer and been given like 6 months to live. And I'm like, that was years ago, and they're still alive and doing great today after like facing
it's
a
the
lot
great letting
of
go
shit that they hadn't faced.
This is why psilocybin is such a powerful thing for people, because a lot of times people might feel stuck in an illness or a thought pattern or behavior or things that have happened to them that they can't let go of. And so they turn to something to break that up. I'm having that vision again of like the exploding rock breaking off of the side of a mountain. Like the tartar just builds up. The rock builds up over time.
Yeah, right.
And psilocybin is just such a powerful breaker of that. And it's so specified to each person. You know, it's incredible that not everyone has the same experience. It's not like you drink alcohol and you either get happy or you get sad.
Yeah.
Those are the two.
Yeah.
You smoke weed and you get chill or you have a panic attack.
Right.
But like everyone gets this tailor-made experience that just like breaks all that shit up. And like these stuck, stagnant places that we get in is, I guess, where these ailments, illnesses,
that is a really good
comes up from
metaphor that I have not yet ever thought of, is like the tartar and like teeth. Usually I use like a personal training type of like muscle building metaphor when I'm trying to explain to people who are not familiar at all with working with psilocybin, like, oh, it's like, you know, training for a marathon, you know, just like jump right in and expect to like fly through or whatever. But like brushing your teeth, if you'd get behind on brushing your teeth, you don't floss and it goes for years. You get the tartar buildup, you get cavities, gingivitis.
It's not good.
And I kind of feel like that's, you know, I mean,
you have to go and have that crazy ass laser treatment where they just blast it the fuck off.
That's right.
Psilocybin.
That would be psilocybin. But you don't have to wait that long either. You can
don't
have a maintenance practice.
Yes.
Psilocybin can be floss.
It should be floss.
Yeah.
For some.
That's what I'm going for.
Me too.
So what's your mushroom practice now? Or what do you?
I really love microdosing. I would really love to go in for an annual cleaning. I haven't had one of those.
Like a deep dive.
Obviously terrifying. But I really haven't tripped or like taken high doses of hallucinogens, I guess, since that trip. Well, I did take a lot of mushrooms at flow camp. That was a lot. I don't know about that. But I would like, you know, to blast some of the tartar off my teeth.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Well, and as you know, the set and the setting makes all the difference, and the preparation and the people you're around and the energy. And
but now that I have had these experiences and these feminine findings, like I am excited about going into that space again because I have so many experiences, and I don't want to say that I know what I'm gonna get next, but I'm curious about what is behind a deep dive for me after having gone through a family and the work that I want to do in my career and the ways that I want to express myself and pump energy into that feminine soul that lives in me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we all have our demons.
This is true.
We got to blast them.
I mean, the trip starts way before
Yeah.
the moment of ingesting mushrooms.
Yeah. And honestly, like while you're going through it, it's like that first experience. Like when you read something for the first time and you just like kind of read over it, you experience it. Then like you have to like go back and read it again. And then you're like, oh, I missed that.
Yeah, right.
But you don't get it until after. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. So Eric said the other day, he was talking to somebody and I heard him say, yeah, it's like when you read a book for the second time, it's not that you're experiencing different things from the book because it's a different book. You're a different person.
Yeah.
You're able to like see and receive information that you could not before.
And boy, do you receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes not for days later or months later.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll strike you. And you're like, holy fucking shit. I just realized that. And I think it was the mushrooms talking.
Yeah. I mean, the mushrooms were talking to you through other people about bringing a human into the world.
They were.
Last year.
They were.
So who knows? Like,
so interesting.
You were open to receiving that when, you know, a few years ago, maybe you would not have even been
able
able to.
Not going to have another child.
Yeah, right. Well, keep eating mushrooms, be around people. You know how many kids you
No.
So, like you said you really enjoy microdosing. What's your typical microdose? Have you been microdosing recently?
Whatever my husband gives me.
Okay, Emilio's microdose is a little bigger than most other people's.
I guess
think.
so, but I don't feel like it feels like a microdose maybe should feel.
What does it feel like?
It just feels like a new lens is put over the screen. Some things are a little fuzzier and some things are a little more clear. My train of thought that just goes all day long and just like has random thoughts and just while I'm existing, that changes. It gets a lot deeper and more introspective. I do sometimes get a lot of realizations like throughout the day where that train of thought is like going somewhere and then it gets to its destination and it's like, aha. It's like more purposeful, unconscious thinking.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Okay, cool.
I get it. For sure. So how often do you have that small dose?
It's pretty sporadic. Usually Emilio is like, hey, you want a microdose? And I'm like, yeah, good idea.
I think you might need this today, babe.
And then he gives me some mushrooms and then I eat them and then we go.
Is it like in a capsule or do you?
No, I wish it was.
You're not a fan of the chewing of the mushroom. Oh my gosh. I get chills just thinking about the taste of mushrooms. I love the taste of mushrooms, but only because I think I've had mushrooms are my best buds. They're some of my best buds. I'm
yeah,
like, hey, friends.
when you were on on the farm in Paoli and you were posting pictures all the time of the big ass mushrooms you all were growing there.
Yeah.
Man, I was just so grossed out. Because I knew you were just eating them. Just like cooking up this huge ass mushroom, getting your fork and knife. I'm just like, no.
Do you not even like culinary mushrooms?
I do, but they have to be
a specific.
They have to be like
type.
In something, with something. Like, like the mushroom burger. What is that?
Like the portobello burger type thing? You don't do that.
No,
don't mess
the
with
texture is not cool.
Okay.
I have weird texture things.
Yeah.
Bananas,
I gotcha.
pudding, jello,
and mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, you're not the only one. You would be in the majority of people when it comes to the taste of psilocybin mushrooms. Especially not being able to.
And you gotta like crunch, dry
chew on
crunch.
'em. Yeah.
I like to dip them in a little scoop of Nutella.
Whoa. It's another level.
Then it's really good.
Maybe you could help us develop our subtle sacrament recipe
Didn't you
book.
used to make them in chocolate?
Yeah, when we've had subtle sacrament days
That
with
was
sanctuary.
delicious.
Yeah, that's a real easy way to dose a group as well, like for a subtle sacrament dose, which you did a couple of those, at least one of those days.
Bernheim.
Yeah. So those doses were like 0.25 grams. Would you say that the feeling that you got was about the same as when you microdose
a little
at
bit.
home? Okay.
It was a little stressful that day because we brought our kid.
Right. That changes everything.
And like he's cool and all, and like it's cool to microdose at home with him.
But managing him in a national park or a park.
I just wanted to lay on a
situation.
fucking blanket and listen to the music and float away. And he's like, I want to run.
Yeah. Chase me.
Yeah, interact with me.
Can't find me now. Yeah. That's a special kind of, Our last subtle sacrament day we did, we were like, no kids. Don't bring your kids this time. We love our family events and.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of that. But I mean, again, going back to that letting go, like you're forced into a letting go.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when you take sacrament anyways, there's that unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to let go and let Bob anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that's my favorite way to do like a subtle sacrament practice is not like regimented, because the whole microdosing trend in pop culture now is like, you take 0.05 to 0.15 and there's like a variety of different protocols, but a lot of people do like 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, 1 day off, 1 day on, and then you take 2 days break, and then you do that for 8 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, and then you take 2 weeks off. It's like a whole thing. It's like I've got so many calendar events already. When it comes to mushrooms, I'm trying to let go.
Right.
Like clench up.
Yeah. And like my hormonal cycle doesn't sound like it would fit into that.
Right. Right. So that's like, okay. So with the women's program that has the subtle sacrament practice built in, the more I've been developing that program for fall, the more I've wanted to shift the way that we do subtle sacrament at Sanctuary, because we've started out with that program for like all members, men and women, and everybody, that regimented, suggested protocol. But then like like flexibility. If you don't want to dose that day, then don't. Or if you want to, do your own thing, but 0.05 to 0.15 or whatever. And that's a suggested thing. But I've really been thinking a lot about it. And I'm like, I've been proposing this to the board. Like, can we revisit our bylaws and like look at what is a subtle sacrament dose to sanctuary that's closer to our core values and our guiding principles of autonomy and and sovereignty and open-mindedness and flexibility.
Trusting your intuition, getting more in touch with yourself.
Yes.
You decide.
And we're all individual.
Your body knows. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get closer to that.
That
so
sounds
now,
right to me.
Same. Because I don't like the box.
And guidelines are cool.
They're helpful, a framework. You're knowing your bounds.
Some people need a little more structure.
Sure.
But the ultimate goal, I feel like, is finding your own groove.
Yeah, exactly. It is. So I want to do more of the subtle sacrament amount being from 0.05 to up to 0.99 grams.
Okay.
And then having a framework that allows everyone to understand, because a lot of people that come into the subtle sacrament programs don't have a reference for mushroom experience dosage at all. So yeah, they need a framework. They need like some help and understanding.
Oh my God, I could imagine.
Like, do I take this whole bottle at once? Like,
what's happening
to me? No, let's get you a scale. Let's get you a chart. But yeah, having that, like developing the dance with our intuition of like, okay, what season of my life am I in right now?
Yeah.
And let's like dip my toes in and see how this feels to take 0.25 grams, like up to once a week or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like a heavier microdose on a Sunday when there's not a lot to do. That's really fun for me.
Exactly. That,
like, I might not want to take that on Monday when I'm about to open the computer.
Right.
But on a Sunday, if we're chilling at home, maybe a little
that's right.
A little extra cap in there.
Yeah, because the intention is different.
Yes. The vibe's different.
Yeah, it's a whole different mindset, environmental setting.
Right.
You can let go more.
You can let go, you can get deeper.
Yeah.
But not too deep because it is Sunday and we have work the next day.
Right. Yeah, you go in with a 5-grammer on a Sunday when the TV's on in the background, your kids running around.
You're just on the way. Yeah. You just check the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Hope Amelia's got the pizza at 5 grams.
Oh my God.
Nobody's picking up the phone to order pizza at 5 grams.
No.
Pizza boy needs to drop the pizza on the porch. Do not knock on the door.
Don't knock.
Tips in an envelope. You ain't invited in.
Yeah.
Can't look in
Get
here.
out.
Well, we covered a lot today.
We did.
Yeah. So maybe we can make this a recurring series.
Okay, hear
Couch
me out,
confessions.
Connor. Couch confessionals with Courtney and Christen.
Yeah.
Quadruple C's.
Quadruple C's.
Couch confessional. Yeah, quadruple C's.
What do you think, listeners?
Don't
you want more?
Do you want to hear us just...
We're just skimming the surface right now.
We could take listener questions. It could be like a whole thing.
Yeah, it could be like a Q&A. We could even do lives. We could do live streams.
Ooh, let's do one next month.
Whoa.
Wait. Connor, are you ready?
Yeah, you ready for this? How did you like editing this episode?
Oh my God, right?
How much did you have to cut out? No, he won't cut anything out.
Except for the part where I had a brain fart.
Yeah, he might cut that out.
Maybe a little chop.
He knows. He's good at knowing what adds value. Sometimes brain farts, make us feel more relatable.
Sure.
To people.
I hope I'm relatable to people. I have no idea sometimes how I present to people because I am such a different kind of, I'm not a cookie cutter kind of person. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I march to the beat of my own drum, but I don't I get positive feedback, but obviously people aren't being like, hey, I think you fucking suck. And I wanted you to know. You know what I mean? But like they might be thinking that.
Well, yeah. And that's their own, path
I keep getting this message like in human design that I keep hearing trailblazer associated with my human design. And I'm like, what the fuck? How am I a trailblazer? Who am I trailblazing? Who's getting blazed by my trails? I don't know. So I hope that I am relatable to people.
I think so. I think my experience with you is that you help other people feel like they can be themselves in your presence.
I embody the psilocybin experience.
Yeah. Which, by the way, are you going to the celebration that we're doing?
I think I was told about it a long time ago.
It's so there's the Kentucky Mushroom Festival, October, which is put on by Paige Zen, who does the Playthink festival and the Kentucky Yoga Fest. This is a brand new festival.
Right.
And Sanctuary has its own stage.
Yeah.
Sanctuary has a whole stage of its own with a bunch of workshops going on. And we've been invited to have our own thing right before the Mushroom Festival starts.
Right.
So we're having an ordained minister's. Well, I guess you're not, because you're a cleric, but you're working towards the ministership. That's true. Are you?
I don't think so.
Okay, you're not.
I think I'm just a helper.
There's kinks to work out, but okay, so then you wouldn't be going. I keep thinking you're a friends and family minister.
Oh, no.
You could be. You could be, but
I could come and cleric people.
Yeah. I mean,
space holder, whatever.
Yeah.
We can talk about it.
Whatever. But I was thinking, what brought that up for me, I was thinking it'd be cool if we definitely did another episode like after the next time you hold space.
Yeah.
At a thing. That would be really cool.
That would be great.
Yeah. So at least that, if not live, couch confessions.
Ooh, with Courtney and Christen.
Ooh, we need a theme song.
It's Couch Confessionals with Courtney and Christen.
I bet Christina, Christina Roundtree, she's a singer.
Oh,
she can
great.
make a theme song for us.
Great.
All right.
On it.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yay.
Let us know. Submit your questions below if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, definitely leave a rating.
A good one.
Yeah, it's got to be 5 stars or don't bother.
Or more.
Yeah. If you can figure out how to leave a 6-star, then do that.
Yeah, then I will write to you personally and thank you.
Ooh,
I have really good thank you cards.
You do.
As a realtor, you got to have good thank you cards.
Yeah, that's a requirement. Well, thanks for being on the Psilocybin Says today. It's been fun.
Love you, babe.
Love you.